Some breaking news now. The Department of Homeland Security firing 4 FEMA employees after it was revealed they authorized $59 million in payments for luxury hotels in New York City to house migrants.
Flashback.
Welcome back. New video into Fox News of 5 more buses carrying migrants from Texas arriving in New York City earlier this morning. And we're learning more about where many are staying at taxpayer expense. The city is renting some 5,000 rooms at a swanky hotel just 1 block from Times Square with spectacular views of the iconic skyline. Rooms cost up to $700 per night. Oh, there's also a top-of-the-line fitness center on the 3rd floor. Officials are keeping the cost of all of this under wraps.
A few moments later.
Tonight, Mayor Adams getting pushback from some asylum seekers who are being told to move out of their West Side hotel and into a new facility in Brooklyn.
This is a live look right now at the Watson Hotel on West 57th Street, where some people are still refusing to leave. CBS 2's political reporter Marcia Kramer says the mayor wants to use the hotel for families. Marcia.
Well, Jessica and Maurice, it's a problem city officials apparently didn't see coming. Asylum seekers who got used to the privacy of living in a hotel room don't want to move to a congregate shelter where everyone sleeps packed like sardines in a room with 1,000 cots.
A few moments later.
We received a statement from the DHS regarding the $59 million sent from FEMA to New York City migrants last week. Quote, 4 employees being fired today for circumventing leadership and unilaterally making the egregious payment for hotels for migrants in New York City. We have not announced it yet, so we have it first.
Okay, so this is a story that we've talked about before. Liberal Democrats in places like New York and Chicago were screaming to let everyone into the country because if you didn't let them in, you were essentially racist. And in New York particularly, and also in Illinois, the governors came out and said, we want migrants to come here, send us everybody because we will take care of them. You don't believe me? Here's the clip.
You know, the Statue of Liberty is inscribed. It says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled young masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse to a teeming shore. And that statement encapsulates our values. We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you. And the richness of the culture and the diversity and the food and the restaurants that we know are going to be coming because of these efforts are beyond measure. It's an extraordinary part of our story. And it's woven into the story of New York, and it makes us more vibrant. I'm from Buffalo's. The infusion of refugees from around the world has really made this community a place I grew up, a steel town. A lot of people left because they couldn't find jobs for a long time. It was the refugees from around the world that have made it such an incredibly fascinating community again. Same with New York City, same with Albany, same with Syracuse and Rochester. So our message to the world is, send us your people, send us those who need the cloak of comfort that we can demonstrate as New Yorkers with big hearts and open arms, and we'll provide a safe haven.
Lady Liberty sits in our harbor. New York City is the welcoming mat for the entire globe.
So, as you can see, the politicians of New York State and New York City were begging for migrants to come. Matter of fact, AOC says the migrant crisis is a false narrative. There is no crisis.
While being as xenophobic and anti-immigrant as they are, and while ginning up this false narrative about this being a crisis. And by the way, by then also preventing and blocking any legislation that would provide not just a path to citizenship, but a path to work papers, a path to allowing people who want to work to be paired with American businesses who need people to work. And we can call it caravans, we can call it migrant crises, we can call it family separation, and they will just recycle it over and over and over again in order to gin up, just so much animosity and destruction in this country and racism in this country, because that's the only thing that the Republican Party even is standing on.
So AOC says the migrant crisis is a false narrative. And it's Republicans, the evil Republicans, that are putting out that false narrative. But she fails to realize the mayor of the city that she represents, who is a Democrat, is the one saying this migrant crisis will destroy New York City.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
Now, the mayor was saying that this issue was going to destroy New York City because New York City had the wild, crazy idea that if migrants came to New York City, they're going to put them up in luxury hotels and take care of them. You think I'm making this up?
New video into Fox News of 5 more buses carrying migrants from Texas arriving in New York City earlier this morning. And we're learning more about where many are staying at taxpayer expense. The city is renting some 5,000 rooms at a swanky hotel just 1 block from Times Square with spectacular views of the iconic skyline. Rooms cost up to $700 per night. Oh, there's also a top-of-the-line fitness center on the 3rd floor. Officials are keeping the cost of all of this under wraps, but a similar package to house the homeless during the early days of the pandemic came at a $300 million tab. Dagan, you live in the city. These are your taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
Have at it.
Because again, this is a socialist state.
Now, New York State and New York City asked the federal government to step in and fund these luxury houses for migrants.
But the mayor says caring for the migrants is a very expensive endeavor, and if the federal government doesn't send relief money, it could very well end up bankrupting the city. Now, last October, Mayor Adams did declare a state of emergency and asked the federal government to send $1 billion, at least $1 billion, in federal relief money. Now, towards the end of the year, the mayor also mentioned that some city services could be scaled back or even eliminated because of the high cost of dealing with the migrant crisis.
But the federal government said, no, you said you wanted them. Now you take care of them. Then Biden is kicked out of office and Trump is put in his place. And the first thing Trump does is make sure no federal money goes to taking care of migrants.
I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA. And then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area, they've never been to the area, and they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away.
So now, after Trump signs his executive order stopping FEMA from giving money to illegal immigrants and illegal immigration, some people within the department decided that, hell, we're going to ignore the order, and we're going to give New York City $59 million of federal money to help pay for migrants staying in luxury hotels.
Some breaking news now. The Department of Homeland Security firing 4 FEMA employees after it was revealed they authorized $59 million in payments for luxury hotels in New York City to house migrants. The firings include FEMA's chief financial officer, 2 program analysts, and a grant specialist. The payments reportedly violating President Trump's executive order prioritizing disaster relief funds for Americans. It also comes as President Trump calls for FEMA to be terminated.
Well, it's long overdue, frankly. These funds have been misappropriated going back to the Biden administration. And New York City, a sanctuary city, has been wasting billions of dollars of taxpayer money, billions with a B, to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants, including criminal aliens that are here illegally. And so, I applaud, frankly, DHS for taking action to stop these payments under President Trump's leadership, because we have incentivized cities like New York and states like New York, a sanctuary state, to allow this to continue, and it has to stop.
All right, so here's the bottom line. There should absolutely be no federal funds given to cities like New York and Chicago for wanting to take care of illegal aliens. The illegal aliens go there, and now they can't say, you guys in Texas should also help me pay for them. No. You wanted them. You said you would take care of them. You should have them. Full stop. Now, do I feel sorry for the taxpayers of New York? Absolutely not. Their politicians beg for these migrants, remember? So if that's the case, then you know what? Keep the migrants, but pay for them. And next time, before you open your mouth and say stupid stuff like, let's just take in everybody because we can all pay for it, maybe this will be a lesson learned. But what do you think? Do you think I am anti-immigrant and racist like AOC thinks? Or do you think reasonable border policy makes sense? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.